By the end of this video, you will be able to import any 3D assets from outside Unreal Engine into Unreal and then populate your scene with it so that we can get a scene with this cool Lambda fighter and these cool TIE fighters.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to chapter 12. We are going to talk about importing asset to your scene from online sources, from sources like Sketchfab. What are we importing, Faris?
Well, we're going to be bringing our giant spaceship, the Lambda fighter. Am I saying it right? Lambda?
I think it should be Lambda
I think it's
fighter.
Lambda, right? I hope I'm not murdering it. Star Wars fans are
People
going to
will
kill
be
me.
in the comments, yeah.
Yeah, and the TIE fighters that are going to be right here, right, instead of these guys. And the most beautiful thing about this is that we're teaching you the real reason why you're using Unreal Engine 5, which is bring in assets that you created in Blender, Cinema 4D, Maya, 3ds Max, and then drop them here and build massive worlds. Or you can just get all these assets online, because if you're new to the world of 3D, there are millions. Okay, not maybe millions. I don't know. How many assets do you think there are? 3D assets.
Did Sketchfab mention how many assets they have?
But Sketchfab is just one resource.
I mean, one of the best, right?
One of the best. Actually, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
And the reason why I love Sketchfab is mainly because of how clean the website is and how many great uploads from the community exist on the website. So there are other 3D resources online like Turbo Squid. And more often than not, a lot of artists that I've talked to, they prefer Turbo Squid or some other websites. For me, Sketchfab is the cleanest one.
Is it free?
Well, there is a very good mix of free and paid assets. I recommend you guys go ahead and search for whatever you want to look for and then see if they are available or not. Now, sometimes you'll find assets that are not even available to buy or even download for free. They're just there for you to view, which is like, why? Because
The artist is showing up, probably.
Probably, yes. No, maybe it's for a paid project and they
Okay.
can't share it with anybody else. So I understand, but it's just like they look so good and I want to download them. So there are 3D resources online and there are so many assets. So you can always go ahead and build out your scenes without ever having to model anything. That is the beauty of creating worlds in Unreal Engine 5. Now, I'm not saying you should do it or not. It really depends on you, but the option is there. So we are on Sketchfab right now. And Farhad, I already have the 2 spaceships that we are going to download, but I just want to show people, in case they've never done this before, how they can go ahead and download a model. So what we're looking for instance, is can you just
Like
name
a
it
TIE fighter?
like a TIE fighter? Okay, just look for it.
Wow, so many.
And at the top, you usually see the ones that are paid, right? You're looking at $8, $18, $15. Usually the models that you have to pay for are very well made. They're clean in terms of their topology and their materials are very well done. So they're exquisite. They're your fine dining plates at the top, right? But usually if you are running short on cash, you want to go look down here. And the ones with this download mark on the top right are the ones that are available for free. So some really cool people made these and made them available to all of us.
Shout out.
And shout out to all of you. And then there's ones without anything. These are not available to download or buy. And then the ones with the $sign you can buy, right?
Okay.
This is not a Sketchfab course. We're just teaching you guys how you can go ahead and download models if you've never done this before. So I went ahead with Farhad and looked at all of these models, and saw which ones worked well inside Unreal Engine and was compatible. And the ones we found were these 2. So I'll just show them to you right now.
I'm going to put the link in the description so you guys can download the same TIE fighters and the Lambda jet and then have it in your scene.
That's
So
right.
these 2.
So starting with a TIE fighter, this one's by Christian Lope. Right?
Shout out to Christian and shout out to Kasra for making these 2 models and making it available for free.
Absolutely. And Kasra is the guy who made this beautiful Lambda TA shuttle. Plus, it has animation. Ooh. So the reason why we went for this one and not just a static one is because we wanted to teach you guys how to bring in a static mesh, which is the TIE fighter, which has no animation, and also a model that has animation and has armatures. And this is exactly that. So if you want to follow along exactly in this tutorial, we recommend you go ahead and check out the links in the description. We cannot give you guys these models because we don't own them, but they are available here. Alternatively, you can go ahead and explore and look for other models if you're feeling adventurous and download them instead and still follow along when it comes to importing the assets.
How do we download them?
So it's very simple. You'll just go to this download button right here underneath their profile. And then you'll see some details like how large the model is in terms of its polygons. And then you can hit download. It'll give you a bunch of different formats. So just like when you're editing movies, you've got your MOV and MP4. And depending on the 3D software and your preference, you can choose which one you want to download.
Which one should we take?
So honestly, our favorite is usually either FBX which is at the top here, or GLB, which is down here, and you get two different texture sizes. The reason why is because FBX is, I would say, the most commonly used, if you ask me. And there are some issues with it, though, because when it comes to packing materials, sometimes you'll download the FBX model and you load it in, and the materials are not there. You have to manually create the materials. But the reason why we love GLB models is because whenever you download GLB, the materials come packed with it. So all you have to do is just drag it and drop it in your content drawer, and boom, it is available for you to use.
Okay.
So just to answer your question, I went with GLB. So all you have to do is just hit download, right? We're going to go with 2K textures. Now, if you download a GLB, the best part is that it is going to come as a GLB file because
A single file.
Absolutely. It comes packed with the textures. That's all you get. If you download the FBX, it's going to come with a zip file because it has to bring in the textures separately. So that's right here, if you can check it out. So we've already downloaded this. Go ahead and do the same thing for the TA shuttle. We're going to go for GLB as well. 4K textures here. Perfect. And now we're going to go out of here. We're going to go out of here as well. So right now we're in our Unreal Engine project file. Farad, shall we do this?
Let's go.
Open up your content drawer.
Create a new folder.
Absolutely. What do we call it?
Lambda Fighter.
Lambda Fighter. All right. And create another folder. Call it
TIE Fighter.
TIE Fighter. Beautiful. So let's go to our Lambda Fighter. We're going to open up the file that has the folder that had the file of the GLB. And then we're going to drag and drop this into the content drawer. Now, we're going to be prompted with this menu right here. And this menu is basically the menu you're going to get when you bring in a GLB file. This will look different if you have an FBX or an OBJ because they work differently, right? Again, MOV, MP4, different compressions, different file formats, different ways to import. So these options are going to look different. Now, more often than not, you are not going to have to change any of these. But in case you import a model and there's something wrong with it, then you want to go ahead and look at them and see what might be causing that issue for you. And sometimes just do a Google search and you find out exactly why. In our case, because we've already done this before, we know we do not have to make any changes here. So we can just go ahead and hit import. We'll just wait for a few seconds. And this should be taking just a few more seconds because it has animation.
Could you bring a photogrammetry asset inside?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Of course. The thing is, photogrammetry assets just work like any other 3D asset, right? And we can try it out maybe one time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we hit Control Space and we look into our content drawer, and now we're seeing all of these new assets. Let's quickly go over what they are. So Farah, what are these first ones at the bottom?
I see some materials. I see lots of textures. And I see 4 different file type.
Yep.
Skeletal mesh, animation sequence, what is it? Physics asset, and skeleton.
Absolutely. So materials, we already know what it is, and there's just multiple materials because the spaceship has different parts. Textures, of course, we're looking at normal maps, we're seeing some color maps, and all of these are basically in the materials, and they're creating the look of our spaceship. We do not have to touch them again because this came as a GLB, which means it comes packed with the textures, which is just amazing. But this time around, if you notice, we have 4 different icons to deal with. We got skeletal mesh, animation sequence, physics asset, and skeleton. Anytime you bring in an asset with an armature is basically bones in 3D software that you use to attach to different meshes to control them. So if you have a human that has animation, it probably has an armature, right? It has the hip bone, it has the arm bone, it has the finger bones, and those bones help control the movement. For a TIE fighter or a shuttle that might have animation of the parts moving, we're gonna also use bones, right? So this guy, Castra, who created this model, used bones in another software, created the animation for the flaps and the door, and so that's why when it comes in, it has these 4 different icons. So if you bring in any item with an animation, it comes with 4 different icons. Yeah. So just gonna open up skeletal mesh and show you what you'll see. Okay, don't panic. I understand that the first thing you wanna do is look at this window and be like, oh my God, another window with so many buttons, so many things that I do not know anything about. But you're not gonna be talking about this right now. We're not gonna be going over this in detail. When we talk about the stormtroopers though, we can talk about this, so don't worry. When it comes to the skeletal mesh, that is basically talking about the bones and the bone structures of what the item holds, right? Which are listed on the right side right here.
So we have the wing, right wing, left wing. We have the doors. Those can be opened and adjusted, right?
Absolutely. So I can even show you right now. So if I hold the right wing, I hope this works. There you go. I have the right wing and I can see the bone right here, okay? And I can basically just go ahead and rotate the bone. And this is basically how Castra animated this in the first place, right? So this is where I can see these bones. And I want to load this up again. This is our skeletal mesh. But if you want to go ahead and open these guys, you can actually access the same ones right here. If you look to the top, and if you look at the text, you'll see it says skeleton, right? That is precisely this guy right here. So I'm going to tap this. It's going to open another tab for me. And that is my skeleton. If I were to double click this, see nothing happens because I already have it open. So I'm going to close it, go to skeleton. I have the same one. If I go to this one, what does it say? It says skeletal mesh, right? So that is like as if I click this one. This guy right here
Animation sequence.
Animation sequence. And we're going to go to that in a moment. I'm just showing you this, that these four are the same four at the top here, because when you're animating characters, you're going to be accessing all of these and trying to change some properties. So that's why you have access to all of them right here. And we're going to explain to you what each of them do. So skeleton is also showing you guys the bones, but there are different options here. This is, I would like to call this like the very base of looking at the bones and seeing what you can do with the scale and rotation of the bones. The skeletal mesh is where we go ahead and connect things to these bones. For instance, if you were to connect weapons that follow some of these bones, you will create those connections here. They call sockets, and you can connect them here. The next one is our animation sequence. Farah, what do you think this does?
This is the animation that has been baked into this object.
Absolutely. You're right. And you can see the animation at the bottom right here. In the asset browser, we only have one animation. But if you had multiple different looking animations for this, so if it was a character, it had a running animation, a walking animation, a shooting animation, you will see all of them if you imported them, and you can access them, you can edit them. You can, for example, change the speed right here. Not that we have to do it, but you're just looking at all the properties of the animation. Hence why the name animation sequence. At the very right, we have physics asset. So Farah, what do you think this one does?
This is the collision of the asset?
Yes. So the moment you bring in an asset with skeleton, with armatures, Unreal Engine automatically creates a physics asset based on those bones. And they're represented with these little balloon shapes that you can go ahead and change the size of and create your own versions. And the reason that these exist, Farah, do you know why?
Because the objects won't go through together, so there's collision.
So let's say if you had a cape on Superman, you want to go ahead and make sure the cape doesn't go through his legs. So you have the physics asset so that when you simulate the cape with wind, it just sticks to his back, but it doesn't go through. So that's the whole point of physics asset. So of course, we don't need it right now for this jet, but it's good for you guys to know and understand what these four are and not panic that you have four different versions in your content drawer.
So which one of them I should bring it to my scene if I want to bring the jet to the scene?
So honestly, if you bring any of them, the jet will come into the scene, but what we usually like to do is bring in the skeletal mesh. That's the base, and then you can go ahead and do anything you want to the skeletal mesh. You can add animation. But the quickest way to bring in a skeletal mesh with the animation already there available to use is to bring in the
animation sequence.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and delete this guy because we don't need it anymore. We have our asset. We're going to go ahead and bring in the animation sequence because it's already baked in there, right? Okay. So we bring in the animation sequence, and just like that, we have this beautiful spaceship placed into our scene. Now, Farhad, this is not looking right, is it?
No. How can we change the animation and make sure we use the right snapshot?
So you are asking the right question because technically, if you want to go ahead and change the animation, we have to use the timeline, right? If you ever played with any sort of video editing software, you have a timeline and you can say, okay, at frame 1, I want this thing to be here. And at frame 30, I want it to move to the right side. We don't have any timeline, so clearly it's hard to animate things right now. That is for another chapter, but you can control the animation still in the details panel, right? So if you're looking at the animation right here while we have this selected, we'll be able to see the animation that is going to be playing, which is this one, defined by the creator of this mesh. And then we have an initial position. So right now it's at 0. We can go ahead and use the slider to control the animation.
Okay, this is what we want, the open door. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it's looking sick, dude.
Okay, amazing.
This is looking sick. So, Farah, I'm going to quickly delete this just to show you guys the difference of bringing a skeletal mesh and not the animation sequence, right? The only difference is that right now we have the base, but here in the animation mode, there's no animation selected. So we have to go ahead and change this animation blueprint to an animation asset and then define which animation asset we want to use. There's only one, the one that it was imported with.
Okay.
Click it and
Do
then
the same thing. 8.
do the same thing
Boom.
and boom. I just skipped over it, but yeah, it worked. 8 and boom.
Okay.
So just like that, you guys now know how to import assets that are GLB files that come with animation, and you know exactly how to bring them to your scenes.
Wait a second. We're teaching you guys all of these techniques like modeling and texturing, but frankly, there are faster alternatives like photogrammetry.
That's when you use your phone to take a bunch of photos of a real life object and then turn that object into 3D within minutes and then bring it into Unreal Engine.
So we use Polycam for our photogrammetry, and they actually sponsored this course so that you guys get 30% off their pro plan. We have all of the details and the promo code in the description. Back to the course.
Can we bring in the TIE fighters too?
You want to do it now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. So should we delete these guys?
Yeah,
We don't
get
need
rid
them
of-
anymore,
get
right?
rid of them.
Okay, delete, 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 delete. So do you think it'll be the same thing for the TIE fighters?
Yes, we should just import it, right?
Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and bring up the TIE fighter right here. All right, we have it located in your computer, and go ahead and drag and drop the GLB file. Now, there's only one difference that we'd like to make this time around. Let's go ahead and try to import this as is and see what happens. Import it quickly.
Oh no.
Farah, what do you see?
We have 1,000 meshes. Every single bolt and pin is separated.
Yeah, this is not cool. So
I don't want that.
I don't want that either. I mean, yes, we can go ahead and look at what we've got. We've got a material, we got 3 textures, and all of these static meshes. We can go ahead and select all of them, drag it to the scene, and it works. But then look at the top here, object 4, object 6. No.
I want a single mesh.
No. Yes. Farah, how do you think we do that?
Was it at the dialog box initially?
Yes. So let's go ahead and delete this.
Control Z or
Yeah.
okay.
I'm just going to delete it. And then we're going to go back. This is where we talked about how, depending on your scenario, you might have to change some of these import settings. So for GLB files, there's this specific setting that says combine static meshes.
Yes, please.
We need to do that, right? We just
Yes,
want
please.
one mesh. We just want one. And then we're going to hit import and see what happens. Boom.
Nice.
One clean
Yes.
static mesh.
Bring that in
Bring this bad boy in there.
to the scene. Yes.
Boom. Wow.
Okay, now it's
Yes.
a single mesh.
I'm going to turn on snapping.
Okay.
Just make it easier. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Nice. Wow.
I never understood where is the head, where is the front or back of the TI.
This is the head.
This is
This
the
is like the front. This is the front.
Okay.
This is the glass, right?
This is go all the way back.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
180, and we can move this guy back here. Wow. I think this is a little bit too big,
yeah.
right, compared to this guy. So we're gonna make it maybe a
0.7.
little smaller. Lock this guy up so they're scaling on the same sides.
Yes.
Same rotation, 0.7. I think that's really good. And now I gotta turn off snapping. I'm gonna come up. Boom. And pull this forward. Hold Alt.
Duplicate.
Pull it
Yes.
back. This too. Alt.
Go all the way to the right and then mirror.
Mirror. Mirror on what axis do you think?
Why?
Make a guess.
Why?
Why? Yes, you did it. Nice. Nice. And
We are done.
bro,
Oh
look
my
at
gosh,
that.
It's getting slowly starting to look really, really good and like a real hanger. Perfect.
Dude, I'm loving this, bro. Okay. So, first of all, again, a big shout out to the creators of the TIE Fighter and the Lambda Fighter. We hope that you guys manage to also take in your assets into Unreal Engine and make your scene look something like this.
And then in the next chapter, we are going to show you how you can bring characters with animation. We are going to populate the scene with all the stormtroopers. So stay tuned.